Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Janelle and I upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday. You've seen me in a previous video looking just like this, wearing the exact same thing with the exact same makeup. Surprise, surprise, I filmed both videos on the same day. And yeah. Anyways, in today's video, I wanted to share with you guys my top 15 products under $15. A little bit over 15 products, but I want to share with you guys basically like my favorite items that perform just as good, if not better, as my high-end makeup, but that is all under 15. These are all makeup products that could be luxury, but are at the drugstore, or they may be not at the drugstore, but they're just under that $15 price point, and they are so good, and I want to shout from the rooftops that you guys need to check these out. And without any more rambling, let's jump into the video. But before you go anywhere, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified every Wednesday and Friday when I upload. I love you all so much, and let's jump into the video. Love you guys. Shout out to my sister-in-law Elisa for getting me this cute fall cup. I'm gonna drink my coffee. Hopefully I don't spill this all over my white sweater. So when I was pulling the products for this video, I wanted to pull products in like order of face categories. So like starting with primer, foundation, all of that. So this first product, you should not be surprised whatsoever that it's in this video, because you just shouldn't. I mentioned it in literally every single makeup video, and it is my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. You guys, this primer is only $8, and I reached for this more than any high-end primer that I've ever owned. To be honest, I rarely ever even use primers. Even the high-end primers that I've tried, they're good sometimes, but I don't grab for them on a daily basis just because I don't always notice the biggest difference in my skin when I use them. But with this one, if I don't use it, I could tell a huge difference in how my pores look and how my makeup sits on my skin. It's so good. It literally, like, this could be sold. They could literally package this in like Tatcha or whatever packaging and say it's $90 and I'd buy it. Maybe not for 90, but it just performs so well. It smooths out the skin while still hydrating it and giving you like a soft, dewy glow without being too greasy or slimy. I don't have issues with this clogging my pores or giving me a reaction like some other smoothing primers do. And I love that it's more of like a thick, putty-like consistency. It's amazing. Okay, so moving on from primers to concealers. I've been talking about this in my last couple of videos, and I just can't believe that it's only like $9 and that this isn't like sold at Sephora. The Kokie Cosmetics Brie Bright Illuminating Concealer is by far probably my favorite concealer at the moment. It is so stunning. It literally smooths out your under eye. It's the perfect consistency. It's not thick. It's honestly like a thin consistency. So when you put this on your skin, even without foundation, it literally just looks like it's your skin. And you get a super smooth under eye. It gives a soft illuminating finish, but it's not greasy or slimy. So it really like sucks into your skin and sets, but it'll just leave like a satin sheen to your cheek so that it doesn't look unnatural. However, it's not a slimy concealer to where if your skin's oily, you couldn't use this. You could definitely use this because it does set pretty quickly. You can build up the coverage on this without it looking heavy. I cannot believe that this is not a high-end concealer, or that I haven't tried a high-end concealer that performed as amazing as this one. This is one of the best concealers on the market and the best concealer at the drugstore. Now, the only down part of this concealer is that I feel like a lot of people are very used to super full coverage Tarte Shape Tape concealer. This is not a super full coverage concealer. It's more of like a medium to full. So you would have to build up the coverage under your eye. But if you just want to like brighten up your under eye or just get rid of some of the darkness but still keep your skin looking fresh, natural, but where it'll stay in place all day, then this is for you. If you want super full coverage still, then I would recommend another concealer, which I'm about to talk about right now. That is my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. It is very full coverage. It has a nice big kind of like Tarte Shape Tape applicator that really lets you kind of pack on the product. I never use this applicator though because I don't like for my concealer to be too cakey. This, you'll get that full coverage, but since it's a nice satin finish, it's not going to look dry or cakey. I also absolutely swear by the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in Deep Caramel for contouring. This is my favorite cream contour of all time. It blends out like a high-end cream contour would. The color Deep Caramel is perfect for my skin tone, and it doesn't look patchy. It literally just leaves your skin looking fresh and bronzed. It could mark this $30 for a cream bronzer and I would buy it because it just performs like a super high-end product. Moving on to foundation. You guys, I was blown away by this purchase. I didn't think it would be as good as it was. And the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skin Milk is absolutely stunning. This gives my skin a really nice like glass skin finish. I love the coverage that it gives because it gives me a nice medium coverage, but if I want to build it up and get a more medium to full coverage out of it, I can. It gives you a glow without you looking greasy, and it still stays on all day. Like, I don't have issues with it sliding around, I don't know, just looking overly greasy. My skin is definitely more on the normal side, and then I get oily in the T-zone, so I'm not super oily. But I believe if you did have oily skin and you just use a mattifying primer, this could work for you too. It has a beautiful satin finish, and to me, it looks like the finish of a high-end foundation. All right, and then I'll quickly touch on these other products. I'm not gonna talk about them a ton because I've talked about them a million times for the past like 2 to 5 years. But they are both L'Oreal foundations. The L'Oreal True Match Lumi is amazing. I've always said it reminds me so much of the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This finish performs just as good, if not better, than a ton of my high-end foundations. You could sell this at Sephora for $60. Change the branding on it and people would be all over it because it is so good. I also really love the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Foundation because it's like the perfect balance of a matte and dewy foundation. It's not too matte, it's not too luminous. It's perfect for like normal or combination skin. Stays put all day, and none of these are cakey. These are both very buildable coverage. You can still get a very smooth, flawless finish. The consistency of them is not too liquidy or runny, but it's also not too thick to where when it's on your skin, you just see all this textures and pores. I feel like this would work great for a bunch of age ranges, skin types, skin tones. They have great color selection, so I cannot suggest these foundations enough. So lately, after I do all of my cream products, I've been liking to set my foundation with a setting spray, but more of a mattifying one. And this one from Kokie is so good. It's the Fix It Up Matte Setting Spray. Mind you guys, I normally hate matte setting sprays because they always make my skin feel tight. They make my skin look so dehydrated. It sometimes can make my makeup crack. But this is like the perfect balance of a setting spray that's gonna mattify your skin, lock the makeup in place, but not dry out your skin or not make the makeup look too like matte, cakey, and cracky. It's weird. It's like it helps the makeup melt into my skin and look dewy, but then it also mattifies it so that it's locked in there. So whenever I spray this after I do my cream products and then I go in with my powder, my skin is just like smooth and velvet, and then I can even spray it again afterwards and it just smooths everything out, locks my makeup in place, and it stays on all day, again, without looking too dry or cakey. And then another setting spray I wanted to shout out is the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. This reminds me so much of the MAC Fix Plus. It just like melts all the makeup, gives you a nice hydrating finish. If you have dry skin, you are going to absolutely love this. Only downfall of this is the spray. Like, it has a nice mist, but I don't know if it's just the one that I got, but there's like one little droplet that always spits at me. But other than that, this literally is just like MAC Fix Plus, but it's only $8 versus like $29. I'm honestly thinking about just pouring this into one of my old MAC Fix Plus bottles, and then it would be like perfect. Moving on to powders. You guys, this powder I've been talking about in my last couple videos, but I need to just shout this out from a rooftop and just tell everybody that they need this in their life. The Kokie Translucent Under Eye Setting Powder. So, you know what's crazy about this powder? I knew that this powder was outstanding when a couple of days ago I was doing my makeup and I noticed I was running low, and I was like, let me stop using this so I can save it for a better occasion, and let me just use my Charlotte Tilbury one instead. That way I don't run out of this one for when I really want it for a special occasion. Mind you, the Charlotte Tilbury one is $45 and this one is like $9 or $10, but I was like worried about not having this one over my $50 powder. Don't get me wrong, the Charlotte Tilbury one is beautiful, but I do prefer the Kokie one a little bit more, as crazy as that is. I feel like Kokie has like something magical in their formulas where they have like the perfect balance of matte and satin to where your skin will stay put all day but still have a little bit of that glow without looking greasy. That's exactly what this powder does. So it smooths the skin, it sets it, it gives it a soft matte finish, but It doesn't take away from any sheen of your foundation or your natural glow on the skin, which is what I love. It's a very fine consistency, but not too fine either to where like you won't get coverage or anything from it. It literally makes your under eyes look like baby smooth. Like you look like you're 12 years old when you put this powder on because it just smooths everything out. It does not look cakey whatsoever, but it really does help lock your concealer in place, foundation in place without letting anything get creasy or crepey. I'm telling you, this powder is better than any high-end powder I've used. Why isn't everybody raving about this? Moving on, another powder that I feel like performs just as good, if not better, or on the same level as some of my high-end powders is my JCat Beauty Aquassurance Foundation Powder. I have mentioned this powder in one of my previous favorites videos, but I just had to give it a shout out once again. This is a powder foundation, so you can use it on its own or on top of a foundation. I find that when I set this on top of my foundation, my skin doesn't look cakey. It has a super buttery smooth finish. Again, a nice satin finish. It's not like a super matte drying powder. So if you are dry, you could use it. But if you're more normal to oily, you could still use it because it's not going to be like too shiny or greasy on the skin either. It just gives your skin the most beautiful airbrush finish ever. I'm actually going to put some on right now because I haven't used this in a little bit. So I don't know if you guys can see, like I just touched up a little bit of the shine. And see like how much it just smoothed it out, but you can still see like the glow and stuff peeking through. This powder honestly reminds me a lot of my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter powder as far as like the finish go and how smooth it leaves the skin. But this one is just going to be a more full coverage version of the Charlotte Tilbury one. All right, on to bronzers. You guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about this, seeing this in every single video, but I had to talk about it. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is where it's at for drugstore bronzers and honestly just bronzers in general. The color Sunkissed reminds me a lot of my Marc Jacobs Omega bronzer in the shade Tantric. They both are very smoothing. They both are like the perfect pigmentation where it's not too pigmented to where if you are heavy-handed, you're gonna look insane, but it's not too soft to where you have to keep building it up to get any pigmentation from it. It is like that perfect balance, and it's a very fine line with bronzers. This one does not get patchy on the skin whatsoever, and I find that a lot of lower-end bronzers can tend to get patchy or either be too shimmery or too matte. This is seriously the perfect balance. The color of it is beautiful for like my skin tone too. It's a nice neutral tone, so it's not gonna be too red or too orange. I think honestly the undertone would be perfect for a lot of people if you're more medium to light, but then they also have more deeper, richer shades that would look beautiful on more like richer, deeper skin tones. All right, so moving on to highlighter. When I was thinking about what highlighters to talk about in this video and what ones that I feel like perform just like my high-end ones, there are a ton of good drugstore highlighters, but one of my favorite super high-end highlighters that I grab for all the time and that I love because it just gives me a nice glass skin finish to my skin. It melts in. It doesn't look like a streak of highlighter. And that's the Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold highlighter. This thing is used and abused. I'm so sad that this color fell out of it. And it was very hard for me to find other highlighters that perform the same until I came across my Profusion Blush and Glow highlight palette. This thing looks so beat up. This palette, I want to say, is no more. It can't be any more than $7 or $10. I believe you can only get this one on the Profusion website though. I don't think they have it inside of stores, or at least I haven't seen it in stores. Whenever I swirl these last three colors together, it literally gives me that same melted into the skin, beaming but subtle, lit from within highlight finish that my Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold highlight powder gives. For the price point, it kind of just blows me away. I'm like, how do you perform just like a high-end highlighter for so cheap? It's kind of scary. These colors are really pretty as blush toppers, and these would honestly be pretty for deeper skin tones too as a highlight. So when it came to blushes, I was about to cheat a little bit because I love my MAC refill blushes and I just put them in an extra little pan like this. But I thought that these were 15, but they're actually 17. But in case you didn't know, MAC refill blushes are only $17 and they're really good. I'm not gonna cheat, so I'm gonna show you guys another really good palette that is like $12 and is so good, and it has blushes in it. And it is the BH Cosmetics Noveau Neutrals palette. You guys, the shades in here for one are stunning. The blushes in here are so pigmented, and to be honest, these are all like dupes for MAC blushes anyway. They stay on really nice. The color selection is beautiful. These eyeshadows blend out absolutely amazing. The shimmers in here, insane. Like, I just don't know why more people don't talk about BH Cosmetics. Like, everybody I feel like is so caught up on like Morphe and stuff that they forgot about like the OG brand that is absolutely killing it, and their price points are even better. And the fact that you can get all these shades and the blush colors for under 15 is crazy to me. On the topic of shadows, I also just wanted to quickly touch on some of my favorite single shadows that are like shimmery, that really give a pretty pop to the eye. I have two kinds that I want to talk about. I have a million shades in each of these categories, but I'm only going to share with you guys like one color and just talk about the formula. So the first, I'm sure you guys already know, the ColourPop Super Shock shadows are out of this world. Amazing. I believe they're only like $8 and they are just so pigmented. It's like a cream and shadow in one. And they're just beautiful for giving your eye just a really pretty pop. Also, what I love about these is that they don't dry out. Honestly, ColourPop shadows in general, this one's so stunning. I need to do a look with this like right now. The middle one, this like white shimmery one, is Ladybird Cosmic Charge. These are absolutely stunning and breathtaking. But another favorite are my MAC Pigments. Now, they used to only carry the large bottles for $22, and like you would never finish them because they're so just like pigmented, and you literally just need not even 2 dots of it and your eyes are like boom, shimmery metallic. So they recently started selling them in the minis for only like $10 or $12, and even these you'll never run out of. Like this one I've had for 2 years. I'm never gonna run out of it. I've spilt it so many times, never gonna run out. And the one that I think everybody absolutely needs in your life is the shade Tan. This is actually one of the colors I used on my wedding day. So you can dip your brush in it, wet it, and it's gonna give you that really wet metallic look, or even just on its own, it's gonna give a really pretty shine. But you see? And then I'm telling you, when you wet your brush with this, it's just a whole different story. $10 and you will literally never run out of them. Ooh, okay, moving on to mascara. So for mascara, I use a bunch of drugstore mascaras and a lot of them are good, but there's only a couple that I'm like, okay, these perform just as good as my Lancome mascaras that I used to be obsessed with, but I just haven't been able to repurchase them because I'm like, I don't want to spend $30 on mascara. Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. This reminds me so much of a lot of high-end mascaras that I've tried, but especially the Lancome Hypnose Drama. The shape of it, the formula of it, it is just such a great mascara. It is so good. And what I love about this is that it doesn't dry out as quick. I also really love the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. That one reminds me a lot of the Lancome mascaras too. However, that one I feel like dries out quicker. This one lasts a lot longer and it really just curls your lash, lifts it, gives you a ton of volume, gives you length. It literally makes your lashes look like falsies. So if you're looking for a drugstore mascara that's going to give you a lot of volume and length and that will perform like a high-end mascara, definitely check out this Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. So while we're talking about mascara, I'm going to share with you guys my favorite lashes that I like better than any high-end lash I've ever tried. And they are my Amazon lashes that I talk about in every single video. This is what they look like in the packaging. Aren't they absolutely stunning? Like, you get the perfect amount of wispiness, you get length, but they're not too long. They're like nice and dense in the inner part of the band, so you'll get a lot of volume straight from your lash root, and then it'll just kind of open up. These don't take over your eye look, so if you have like a really pretty eyeshadow look that you don't want it to take over but you just want to add some drama, these are perfect because you can still see your eyeshadow, but you get like a good pop without it just being the focus, the lash, you know what I mean? I love these. They're perfect for any occasion. I cannot suggest these enough. These are seriously like the only lashes that I use now. It's so hard for me to use another lash because I'll put it on and be like, this makes my eye look weird. I'm just so stuck on these that I can't put them down. And they're only $8 for a pack of 3 of them. So moving on to eyeliners. Liners were kind of hard because there's a lot of liners that I love and I think are good, but there's just one liner that is so affordable, but just it's like all the way up here on this performance level, and the fact that it literally stays put all day, but like not only stays put but stays super pigmented. It doesn't smudge. It's super creamy. They have so many colors, and that is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liners. This is just some of the colors that I have. I have a ton more, but these are the most pigmented eyeliners ever, and like I said, they stay put all day. This is how smooth they go on. Like, see, I'm barely applying pressure and they just go on so smooth. This is a beautiful purple color. I love this baby blue color, but do you see how vibrant they are? And they're only like $5 or $6. They could even be cheaper, but they're just so good. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to talk about on the eyes. So a couple of months ago, I mentioned in my video that I was sent glitters by a brand called Candy Box Cosmetics. And I remember trying them out and being like obsessed with the glitters that they sent. But then when I saw the price point, I'm like, this can't be right. Like, I feel like I'm stealing if I purchase anything because they're just so cheap, but they perform so well. Glitters are absolutely stunning. There's so many different kinds of them. Thicker, chunkier ones like the ones I'm showing you now. But then they also have my favorite, which is butterscotch. This one is my favorite, butterscotch, which looks identical to the Artist Couture eyeshadow that I used to be obsessed with, except for this one is only $6 and the Artist Couture one is like $30, but it's more of like a warm gold. And then they have like a really pretty yellow. I love these ones that are more fine and they have a fine glitter throughout them, but then you also have the option, like I said, of using a chunkier one. All right, moving on to lip pencils and lipsticks and glosses. I'm not gonna rant about these for too long because I literally just did a whole video on my favorite drugstore neutral lip combos. So if you haven't seen that, check that out. I'll go in depth on everything. I just wanted to shout out a couple of like the top ones just cause, but I'm gonna go really quick. So my favorite lip pencils for under 15 that perform super high end with great quality are the NYX matte lip liners and then my Milani lip liner. The NYX ones are literally just like the MAC ones, identical. The feel of them, the stay of them, the colors that they have, a lot of them look similar. They even look identical to my MAC lip liners. These, if you love MAC lip liners and you swear that by them like I do, but you wanna get just like an affordable version, these are only like $4 or $6 and they are so good. The color selection is amazing. Moving on, the Milani ones, so good, so creamy. They stay put all day. These give you like a smoothing filter to your lips. So if you color in your lip with the lip pencil, it literally like goes over any crevices or cracks on your lips. This one is supposed to be a dupe for Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. It's in the shade Nude 3. Definitely check both of these out. They have great color selections. Moving on to lip products, my Morphe ones I feel like really stand out compared to any of my other affordable lip products. These I honestly like better than any high-end liquid lipstick that I've tried. They stay put all day. They're not too thick. They're not too thin to where they'll run. They don't dry out your lips. The color selection is amazing. They're just so amazing and they're only like $9. So if you have not tried the Morphe liquid lipsticks, you're missing out. They are so good and the colors are stunning. Then as far as glosses go, there was only one gloss that really stood out. I love a bunch of drugstore glosses the same way I love a bunch of drugstore lipsticks, but this one just really stood out and just had like that high-end finish and level to it, and it is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. I have one in the shade Reef, but these remind me a little bit of the Fenty glosses and like the applicator that it comes with. The finish of it, it's not sticky. It doesn't have a weird smell or anything. They're super glossy. The pigmentation is perfect. So these lip products right here, these aren't like my only favorite affordable lip products. These are just the ones that I feel like really are on that super elevated level, but for some reason are just like a super low price point. All right, you guys, so that wraps it up for this video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed just finding out some really bomb products for under $15. Like I said, these aren't my only favorite products under 15, but these were the products for under 15 that just blows my mind, the fact that they're under 15, because I think that they could honestly be 30, 40 or more. These are all products that perform to that super high end, almost luxury-like finish. So definitely take my word for it. They're all so good. I'll leave all my product recommendations down below if you want to check any of them out. I love you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, or if you found it helpful, let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see next. I love you all so much. I pray that you all stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!